Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Cup, the currently unnamed podcast, where you come here first to quench your reality thirst, and we put the tea in reality, period. I am Lana, your resident diva, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and you know I loves me some tea, so if you have some tea, hit me up. I'm not drinking anything because I just got home not too long ago and I wasn't thirsty, so I didn't grab anything. And so here we are. But drink water, stay hydrated, people.
What she said. And I'm AJ, 22-year-old college graduate who plays way too much Smash Bros. Although lately I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Violet. Shout outs to, I don't know, let's see, shout outs to my friend Wesley, who actually made me get a good team at the start of the game for once. Thanks, bud. And also, if you haven't bought Pokemon the Scarlet or Violet and are thinking about it, you should do it. Even if it's like just a little Christmas present for yourself. Just go do it. Great game. Fun time. And I'm drinking water because hydration.
Hydration. Mm-hmm.
Hi you guys, it's Zoe. I'm drinking on a little yank. Y'all already know how. Y'all know how I do. But sorry, my camera's having technical difficulties. But ready to get into this tea. Gonna give it to y'all nice and real and blunt. Y'all already know we're not gonna be no sweet or no nice over here. It's gonna be 100% period.
Period. Well, we are here to finally talk about the finale of the mole. We have made it to the finale. We're here. So excited. Um, and I have to say, for my first season of watching The Mole, I am very much impressed. I kind of like it. I kind of am a fan. I'm kind of joining the bandwagon of understanding why everybody likes the show. I was very much intrigued and appreciated the gameplay of this whole situation that they have going on. So I enjoyed this season, and yeah, I enjoyed
Mm-hmm.
it. So let's jump right on into it because I don't think this is going to be a very long episode, but I want to cover everything in the overall season. So the finale starts with them getting dressed in this very dramatic fashion of them putting on these, going to their hotel rooms and getting their suits and putting it up and talking about who they think is the mole and why they think this person is the mole. Willa thinks it's Kazi. She says, but it could be Joy because Joy did some shady things. Kasi says she thinks it's Joy, but Will isn't innocent. And Joy says she thinks, and Will said, no, Joy says she thinks it's Will, but also Kazi because, they're trying to make us think we don't know who they tell to pick. So
Mm-hmm.
it was very dramatic for me watching them put on their suits, and it's like, okay, but they all look good. They all look really good in their little suits and ties and looking like men in black. I was here for it. I was here for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, they go to the elevator, make it to the car, and the driver hands them this tablet out of nowhere, and it's Alex's face. And Alex sends them a message letting them know what their next mission is going to be. And the mission is they go to this abandoned fort, and they have to go to three different sectors of the fort and get a canister worth $5,000 a piece. And it's different ways they have to get it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And each of those canisters are in like a weird precarious spot. And they also have 30 minutes to grab each canister, like total for all three.
mm-hmm.
And there are drones flying around this island. And if the drones detect their movement for more than 3 seconds, the mission is immediately over. So, and that's even after they get the canisters. They have to get the canisters off the island before they count. So they got to be careful even after they get the canisters to get them off the island, or else they're going to lose all that money. So I would like to remind those of you watching at home, before this mission, the group was up to $96,500 out of a possible 235K. They're kind of lacking at this point, but it's kind of expected with them all. But yeah. So all three of them are like really suspicious of each other at this point. It's we're hitting paranoia levels at this point. But yeah, this is the last mission of the season. Kind of fun. I feel like this is what the mission in the last episode should have been, because this is more of like a climactic kind of like final vibe here, even if it's a bit of a victory lap, more or less.
Yeah.
How
So
do
what
you
was
feel
your
about
thing?
that, Zoe?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Is my camera working now? Okay. I was gonna say hey, this season, like at the last episode, they were definitely all suspicious of each other. At that point, I felt like Joy picked up on Kasi, but like, or was like kind of. I thought she was picking up, but I guess not. But they definitely were all suspicious of each other. The last little challenge, I felt. Well, I don't know if we can mention because we already know who the mole is at the end, but I just felt like even then, despite the mole being who the mole is, I felt like Kasi was just being a little bit too deliberate. Like this, like it's the last episode, so like definitely was showing their cards, and like when they were losing, like when she was like making these like big like little mistakes that obviously weren't mistakes, um, and I just obviously Will was picking up on that because he talked about it in the little confessionals. Joy, I thought she was picking up on it when she was talking about in the confessionals, but I felt like the challenge really, that last little challenge that they had gave the opportunity to really show everyone like, okay, this is who's doing what and this is who's doing this. Like it was just to see everything.
Yeah, it was. I did like this challenge. I don't know, but I don't know how if it was like the best for like a final challenge. Like you said, I think it should have been like the one before the final, but it also definitely. I think it made everybody. It was the way everybody could have looked suspicious in this challenge.
Yeah.
Everybody had an opportunity to throw somebody off their scent if they were, the mole or trying to do that. And Will talked about it. He wanted to do it with the first canister. He was trying to come off suspicious so everybody would vote for him to be the mole.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Joy didn't say that's what her plan was, but it kind of looked like that's what she was trying to do.
Yeah.
And same with Kasi. She just had an opportunity to look suspicious and she took it. Okay. So the first canister in the red zone was they had these two sticks and they had to like this canister was hanging above um
A pit, for
a
lack of a
pit
better
of
word.
yeah
Yeah.
better
It's literally
a,
just a big hole.
a big hole, and they had to take these two sticks and try to maneuver the canister off of without it falling into the pit. If it fell into the pit, it exploded. No money.
Mm-hmm.
And Will was ready to throw it. He was ready to look suspicious. He was like, if I can find a way to put the sin on me, I'm going to do it. So he was kind of shaky with the pole. Joy refused. Okay, but at the beginning, Joy was kind of like, I don't want Kasi to do it because I feel like seeing her with the train. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want her touching those sticks. I don't trust her with
Yeah.
sticks, and that's what I thought. Joy was like on the Kazi is the mole train, but
Yeah.
okay, but so I was thought that's where she was headed, but Joy was like, "I'm gonna do it." Will was doing it, and they were both really shaky with the sticks, like literally both of them were trying. It
Okay,
looked like
so
both of them were trying to
I
throw it
don't know
off.
if this is like a deep cut, but I'm just gonna do a deep cut real quick. There was a battle on the block on Big Brother 16, right? Where they have these like chains and they had to pull them up to get these balls in these holes, right? It was supposed to be designed so that one person would hold each chain and then they would pull them up in like pattern. But then they found out it was just way easier for one person to do both, and that would have worked. They should have had one person do both because then they're just big chopsticks. Like literally, if you really think about it, that's all they had to do was just pinch it, pull, and they would have had that canister. But 2 out of the 3 people here didn't want them to get that canister, so I can kind of understand why that didn't come up.
Agreed. And I remember that challenge definitely watching Frankie do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I thought sure it'd be easy if one person did it, but having two
Mm-hmm.
people do it, it was just weird. But they end up dropping the canister because Joy shakes it, it falls. Will's like, I guess Joy had the same idea, but it still didn't take him off Kazi as the mole.
Mm-hmm.
He still was like, Joy's suspicious, but I don't think.
Yeah.
But that was interesting. So canister goes down, canister goes boom, red smoke everywhere, explosion, blah, blah, blah. I was very much more interested in these drones finding them. It says 3 seconds, but I feel like the first time they were running, it was like 3 seconds and they didn't
Yeah, it did
clock
feel that
it.
way. I mean, that might have just been the producers being extra. Okay, honestly, let's be real. Okay, they knew that they wanted the players to have more than $100,000 after this mission,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like even if they would have somehow failed this mission, right, and lost all
Mm-hmm.
of it, there would have been some weird bonus thing for them to cross the 100K mark.
Yeah.
100,000 just looks so much more presentable to the
Then
viewing
98
audience.
or
And
99,000.
yeah, like if you tell me right now, if you hear a show has a prize money of $96,000 or $100,000, which one's more marketable? The 100K.
Yeah.
So
It's
I
easy to
mean,
round up.
it did feel like the producers were kind of cutting them some slack. Because, I mean, to be fair, they probably expected them to make a lot more money than they did. I mean, when you look at missions like the cage rescue, that mission could have been easily fixed if Avery would have looked at the freaking pizza box a little bit closer and they would have
Mm-hmm.
got more money. But at the end of the day, it's not how it worked out. And I think the producers just cut them some slack.
Yeah. It was interesting.
All right. So they lose the red canister, and they're now moving on to the white canister, which is in this like pipe kind of room. There's all these pipes on the wall. And one person has two little suction pads, right? They're basically just big suction cups with the handles on them. And they have to move these suction pads across the wall, across these pipes, but they're walking on the pipes, and the suction pads are basically like the little hold on to for their hands. And they have to grab this canister, and if they touch the ground, the canister explodes and they're done.
Right.
So Will's like, I'm too big. I don't have really good balance. And Joy's like, I don't have really good balance either. So Cassie, you do it. Cassie's trying to like finagle her way into it. So Cassie gets on the suction pads and takes like 5 steps. And
Not
then
even 5. I think it
falls.
was like 3. I
It
think it was like 3.
it was the most blatant thing I think has been done all season to be like sabotage.
Right. It's like
It was
you couldn't
probably really
cross
easy
that.
too. It was probably really easy too. Like you just go, bah, and just peace out and just jump
Right.
off.
And fall. Like it was weird. But I was like, okay. Now, even if I didn't get spoiled, which I did, I got spoiled with who the mole was before I watched the episode. But even if I didn't get spoiled, I would have been very super uber more suspicious of Kazi over everybody, even with the stick thing.
The biggest critique a lot of people had of these last 2 episodes, because they were released 9 and 10 together, was that it was very blatant at that point who the mole was. And they had done a really good job keeping it hidden all the way up. I would say all the way, honestly, through episode 8, it was kind of ambiguous. But once you got to 9 and 10, you knew. You knew. And spoiler alert for later in the video, when we have this big dramatic reveal, if you haven't already pieced it together, the mole is Cassie. But yeah, there we go. But we'll reveal the winner and the runner-up between Will and Joy, though. But Cassie did a very good job at staying like subtle throughout the season, and then the last 2 episodes, she's like, "I'm already making my coin. I don't even care." Just yeah. But so yeah, Cassie jumps off these pipes, and they lose another 5K. So they're like, "Well, fuck, we're already down 10K in this particular mission. So let's head to the blue zone." This one was weird.
The blue zone was all about speed. It was like you have to, once you cross into this room with this big cannon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You have 5 seconds to run in, grab the canister of money, and toss it out before 5 seconds is up.
Mm-hmm.
That's
But the other part
literally
about it was it wasn't just to grab it and toss it out. Somebody on the outside had to catch it.
had to catch it. Oh
So if
yeah,
they
somebody had to
dropped
catch
it, that didn't count
their
either.
money. Yeah.
So they choose Will because, of course, they do. Because Will puts all this money into the pot. Damn it! And I'm sorry. Did you like my bad chair impression? Did you like
I
it?
loved it. I loved
Thank you.
it.
Thank you.
Do it again, please. At some
Will
point.
puts all this money into the pot. Damn it! But
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I'm just living my
Anytime you want
best
to put
life.
it out there. Anytime.
Hey, Cher, call me. Chad Michaels, call me. But so Will darts in, he throws it out. I couldn't really tell if he was aiming for anybody. I think he was just trying to get it out of the room. But then, in perhaps the most fitting way that this mission could have ended, the person who saved the season saved the canister, as Joy Schweitzer caught that canister like a queen.
No, it was Cassie.
I thought Joy caught it.
No, Cassie caught it.
Oh, did Cassie catch it?
Cassie
Well,
caught
it's
it because
been
she needed
almost
to.
a month since I watched the finale, so there's that.
Yeah, I just literally watched it before we got on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Cassie caught it because she wanted to redeem herself. She was like, "I need to redeem myself.
Mhm.
This is great," and so canister came flying, and she caught it. And was like, "Yes!"
That was some very good visual representation, Lana. Love
Thank
that.
you. I do my best. I mean, you give impressions. I have to hold up my end of the part.
Damn it. So they're skirting out. They have about 2 minutes left on the clock as they're running towards the exit. Remember, they got to get off the island, or else none of this money counts.
And they can't get caught by those drones.
Oh, and the drones are still flying around. They're just bobbing and weaving and ducking and diving and dodging and dipping and flipping and slipping and sliding and
flipping and sliding and dipping and dodging and booking and chicken, sucking and driving, all of it.
They're just going for it.
They're going.
So they get across the gate with about 2 or 3 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah.
And they managed to net $5,000 for the pot out of a possible 15 out of this mission. So the grand prize for the first season of The Mole on Netflix is $101,000. Well, 100,000 $101,500. I don't.
Yep.
$101,500. There we go. Out of a possible $250K, which, grand scheme of things, if Joy wouldn't have taken the money out of the pot that she did, they would have broken about 50% of the total prize money. So not bad at all.
Not bad.
I mean, especially considering you were literally in Australia for like 2 months, and you basically got to take a vacation. And even if you lose, you still got to visit Australia for 2 months. I think that's a big win.
That's a win. Period. So yeah, I agree. It was, and that was that. That's what they ended up with. And then cut to, you can't have a finale without having everybody come back. And
all
so we see
previous cast members are just
all
there.
the previous. They're just there. So they never left Australia, or
They even fit our absolute favorite on the cast, Lana. We got down the bowl without the purple marker making an appearance, ladies and gentlemen. Purple Sandy, everybody.
Purple Sandy is
Purple
back.
Sandy.
Just blah. But yeah, everybody.
Did you watch last week when I told you about what Sandy did to ruin Avery's game?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so Avery had been suspecting Cassie around the time Sandy went home.
Mm-hmm.
And Sandy told her that she was going to go all in on that test for Cassie. And then Sandy went home because she went all in on that test for Avery. So Avery thought
it was.
That's why Avery lost. So Avery was putting guesses for Joy, which, because they are both African American women and this test is pretty arbitrary, she was getting a lot of matching answers because, so Avery thought it was Joy and not Cassie. And that's why Avery went home.
Wow. Interesting. Fun facts. Love to
Fun
see it.
facts, everybody. Fun facts.
So
So
everybody shows up. Everybody's back. The whole cast is back, and they're talking about who they think is the mole. People are saying Cassie's. People are saying Joy. People are saying Will.
don't say people. Furniture is saying Will. The
Oh
furniture
yeah,
said Will.
Jacob said Will. Jacob was the only one that said Will.
I just want
Uh,
to point out Jacob got eliminated at like the final 5, right?
mhm.
This man knew for a fact that 1 out of the 3 people in this final 3 was not the mole. We assume Joy. So that means he still got it wrong between 2 people. Dumb
Yeah.
punk never change. Dumb punk never change.
I mean, it is what it is at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But people were like, I wanted to be Joy because, well, Osei was like he wanted to be Joy because then his guesses would have been right and he would have been right, blah blah blah.
But he went home
So
first.
he went home first,
So obviously they weren't.
It's just I don't know, but it was nice to see everybody, and so then we do this whole dramatic walk entrance of the final 3. They come in to sit around the table with Alex, and they're having wine and
Mm-hmm.
looks like a steak, I guess. I don't know. That nobody eats, but he's just there to talk. And that was okay. They talk about, this is the last time we're going to do this quiz and how you feeling. Just normal
Stuff
talk
we can
around.
skip. I mean, let's be real. We all at this point know who it's between. It's between Will and Joy as to who's going to get the mole right. Because Cassie's been pretty blatant these last 2 episodes. And, So they go to take the last quiz. They're sitting in this cute little triangle shape that I was quite a big fan of.
It was cute.
Yeah, it was
looking
quite
at
cute.
Each other.
I love the edit that they did here, though. They're
looking at each other.
Because the way they arranged the triangle, I think they did this on purpose, was so that way whoever they were suspicious of, they could look over their shoulder, like put the camera over that person's shoulder at the other person that they were suspicious of. So it's kind of like them look. It was so good. But we find out that Will is guessing Cassie, and that Cassie is guessing Joy. And we're not going to tell you who Joy's guessing because that would ruin the surprise because you already know who the mole is. So they take the quiz, and then they go. They're basically in like what looks like a barn to me. Did it look like a barn to you?
It was like really a weird warehouse.
It was a weird little place to film the finale, but they're all in these like really fancy, beautiful clothes. And then so Alex is standing there with the eliminated contestants, and then the final 3. And the final 3 get put in front of these like spotlight things. And then Alex says that everybody guessed differently, so whoever guessed the mole correctly is the winner. And at that point, my heart went, no! Because the mole was indeed Cassie, and the only player that guessed Cassie was Will. It is the most disappointing finale result I've had since, I don't know, Derek won Big Brother 16. Like it's up there. It's pretty bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. It was very anticlimactic.
It was a letdown. Because also I just want to point out the way they edited this finale and the way it was like the mole is blue, right? That was so anticlimactic.
I thought they were going to, because she was like, the spotlight will shine on the winner or on the mole. So I didn't know she was just gonna say her name, like, and the mole is. I thought they were like, and the mole is, and then the light comes up, and then she says Cassie, but no, she was like, and the mole is Cassie. Light.
So let me tell you something about the first season of The Mole, because this is the one I've watched, and the OG Mole back in the day on ABC. Okay, so the finale of the original Mole, right? You had the final 3 all take the quiz, pretty similar fashion to how they did it on this episode, right? Then you had Anderson Cooper with the 2 finalists, right? Individually, and then Anderson Cooper eliminated one of them, right? So you already knew who won. right? Well, you knew the final two, but you didn't know which of them was the mole and which of them was not the mole, right? And then Anderson Cooper was talking to the other finalists, and he's like, well, congratulations, you just won the mole, and then the mole comes out, right? That it sounds a lot more underwhelming when I say it here, but it was very much like well presented, well shot, well filmed. And I wish they would have done something a little more similar to that, because as much as I really did enjoy the season a lot, I liked it a lot more than I liked both of the Celebrity Mole seasons. The ending was just so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
And I wish they would have edited the framework a little bit here.
I agree. I think it was very much like, we went through all that just for it to be like, oh, and here's the mole, Kazi.
Yeah. And, Will won. Not happy about that, not gonna lie. It just feels very much like Jackson Mickey winning Big Brother 21. Like, yeah, the alpha person who's been running the group the entire season's the winner. Cool. But yeah, so then we get a quick little description by Kossi of some of the things she's done to sabotage the group and or to earn their trust. So she talks about in the very first mission how she intentionally did not sabotage so that way the group would trust her more. And then in the prison break mission, she mentions, yeah, I saw the key outside my cell, but I intentionally didn't tell anybody about it. She, during the bank heist, this is probably the best one she got away with all season, was pretending that she didn't recognize those names in the logbook and the bank heist. But she said, yeah, duh, obviously I knew what they were, but,
Not gonna do
you all earn
that.
money. And then she intentionally dropped the bag she dropped in the mail run mission on the train. She knew there was 10K in her backpack in the mountain mission, and she intentionally stayed behind so that way the group wouldn't get that 10K. She stole the exemption to not only cost the group 10K, but to make everyone think that she felt like she was in danger. Then you have Kossi literally throwing the ice blocks off the back of the sled and dropping off the suction cups. Those are pretty blatant. But yeah, so Kossi owned up to a lot of her stuff here. I'm certain there's more that we just didn't get to see in the edit, because Avery has said that there were missions that they didn't put on the show that they did, which does kind of bum me out a little bit, but I understand that, they can't edit everything in. So before we talk about the clues that were uploaded to the on Netflix's YouTube channel, which were not in the final edit of the show, which they should have been in the final edit of the show. Let's be real. That's the other thing I'm mad about the season 4, because they cut my clues out of the show, and that angers me to pieces. But so Lana, you knew who the mole was.
Yes.
Are you aware of any specific clues that were present in the show that were giveaways to Kossi? Because there were 4 that they had on the YouTube channel.
I cannot say that I was very
Okay. So the first one was in the jungle mission, all the way back in the very first jungle mission. So on the side of the plane was 06160, which is Kossi's height, which is 6 foot, and 160, that's her weight in pounds. And then beside that was the flag of the country Colombia. And like we've mentioned before, Kossi's alma mater was Colombia. So
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So there was the first one. And then the next one was in the bank heist, right? They, after the bank heist, remember how they went to that bar? At the bar, there was a bottle of bourbon, right? More specifically, Kentucky bourbon, which Kossi's from Kentucky. And on that bottle of bourbon, it said established in 1994. Kossi was born in 1994. Then you had in the food bomb mission, there was the number 42276 was printed as the label on, like, make number on the bomb. That is the zip code of Russellville, Kentucky, which is Kossi's hometown. And then finally, on the pizza box, both of the pizza boxes, I would like to remind you, in the pizza pigeon mission, the number 1994-1014 was written on the pizza box, which is Kossi's birthday, October 14th, 1994. So
Wow.
there were clues present. Nobody picked up on any of them. Are you surprised by that? Because for me, in the original mold, they didn't always have a ton of clues for the players, but there were always a ton for the audience. And there
Hmm.
weren't really that much this season for us.
Yeah, I'm not surprised nobody picked up on that because it's like random numbers on the side of a plane. The first mission, like the very first time you get it, that's not going to mean anything to me. I don't know who these people. We're just meeting these people, and so you telling me six something, 160, it doesn't look like it looks like the numbers
Mm-hmm.
on the plane, like a plane number or whatever. Because I don't know that she's 6 foot and 160 pounds. I don't know
Yeah.
her. So I can understand bypassing that. I think the more you get into the game, if you keep seeing these same numbers like
Yeah.
1994, and it's like, I would think they would pick that up, but again, I personally would have. That would have went over my head. Completely
Yes.
went over my head because I wouldn't have think to look at the pizza box or the bourbon or when we're in a saloon, we're in a pub or a bar, and so all the drinks have labels with numbers, and so I wouldn't think, oh, look at that Kentucky label with a step, with that. So I'm not surprised it went over everybody. A lot of people says or everybody says. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have been the one thinking about that stuff either, but that's me because I don't think about stuff like that. I think I should probably think about stuff if I'm playing the mold. You probably should look
Yeah.
at everything as a potential clue, but me
Mm-hmm.
watching it, that went right over my head. I didn't even look at it or think about it.
But yeah, so we have a winner. We have
The
uh
mole,
a mole. We have a runner-up, Joy, which
oh,
Joy
queen,
Schweitzer. We
still
are
queen,
massive fans of you, Joy Schweitzer.
still
Um,
queen.
please grace our screens at some point again in the future. We're big fans here at the Cup of Joy Schweitzer.
Huge,
Um,
huge fan.
so couple questions I wanted to ask you, Lana. I figured like we could just have a nice little bit
Sure,
of a retrospective here.
let's
What
chit
was
chat.
your favorite mission this season?
I have to say the jailbreak. I really
I
like the
love the
jailbreak.
jailbreak. It's
I
so good.
really, I really like the jailbreak. I like the whole concept of them being in three different sectors of the prison
Yeah.
and having the same amount of of materials to break, and how each team utilize the things that they
Yeah.
had to break out. I love that. I thought it was just such a great mission.
I
That
agree.
was, I think that was my top tier favorite one.
Okay. And in case you all forgot at this point, because it was a while back, my favorite mission this season is still the red button mission.
I love that
It
one
is
too.
everything perfect about this show. It perfectly portrays the idea of, well, you all don't have to do anything to get money, but if you don't trust that the other group's not doing anything, do all of this. And it was just
Right.
so great.
Yeah, that was a
Love the
good.
red button mission. And yeah, big fan of the red button mission. So, who, in your opinion, is the player of the season, Lana?
Still Joy. Still
Joy
Joy.
Schweitzer, absolutely.
100% Joy. Joy was entertaining from beginning to end. Even she made you believe she was the mole, even if she wasn't trying to do it. She gave us very mole-like behavior, but in the most entertaining way possible.
Absolutely. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. My player of the season is Purple Marker Sandy. I'm just kidding.
Put that up. Put that away. Put that away right now.
I'm just kidding. No, player of the season, obviously Joy. Joy literally ran this whole season from top to bottom, entertainment
She
wise.
carried this whole season.
Yeah,
Period.
because I'll be real, I don't know if people would have fallen in love with the mole as much as they did if Joy was not on this cast. I feel
I
like
agree.
she's probably the best casting decision they made in this entire season. It's really weird for me, especially going back to like seasons 1 and 2, talking about it. Joy is the oldest cast member on the season. She's 40. If she were on an older season of the mole, like if she was on season 2 of the mole, she would have been the 4th oldest person on that cast. There are three other people that would have been older than her, and that's even at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just it does make me question a little bit, because I do want to ask this. Do you think Netflix is like intentionally casting young people instead of like maybe a couple older players who would bring something different to the cast here? Because do you think like a 50-year-old person would like, do you think they are intentionally not casting older people on these shows?
I,
Other than like maybe
yes,
one or two token old people.
yes, yes. I definitely do. I think casting producers love younger for video reasons. A
Yeah.
lot of older players are more established. They're married. They're in whatever. And with younger people, they'll feel more freer. They don't have those responsibilities. They don't have they're single. They can flirt. They can
Mm-hmm.
give you more than somebody who's very much
Yeah.
established and whatever. And good TV is good TV. They love beautiful people on TV. They love to see that because you feel to watch it. I don't know. But I think they're missing out on the fact sometimes that if you get more than one older person or two older people together, the kind of like they've been watching TV a whole lot more longer than these young folks. So they know what they're doing. They know what they signed up for. They know they have to be entertaining. They know they have to do something to draw you. Joy knew exactly what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing because she knows TV. And she
Mm-hmm.
gave us good TV. It just showed. I just really think casting directors need to a good mix of
Yeah.
diversity and age is so much will make TV so much more entertaining to me.
Mm-hmm.
A
I mean,
reality show.
especially when you compare this to another show that I would say is like similar in the fact of it's a Netflix reality show. You have The
Mm-hmm.
Circle. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the cast of the most recent season of The Circle, which to be clear, season
It's
five's cast
single,
has not
single,
been announced as
but
of
it's
right now.
no, they haven't announced it, but they already made their plans very clear. It's the Circle
Singles.
single season,
Yeah.
so yeah, we can pretty much
Yeah.
know it's gonna be a whole bunch of young
Mhm.
people. So
And outside of the Spice Girls, which celebrity casting, the oldest player on the most recent season of The Circle was 35.
yep.
So Joy was on The Circle. She still would have been the oldest cast member on The Circle too. And
Mm-hmm.
you could argue with me about something like maybe Love Is Blind, maybe it being harder to get older people on that show just because a lot of times older people aren't like as interested in dating or they're already taken or whatever. I would be willing to hear that argument. But
Yep.
when you have a show like The Circle and you have a show like The Mole, which age really does not matter that
It
much
doesn't.
in terms
It
of
doesn't
what you
matter.
can bring to the show, like if you look at The Circle, the oldest person I think that's ever been on the US version of The Circle is only 52.
Yeah.
And as much crap as we give Survivor and Big Brother about their casting, they at least usually have one older person on the cast.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think any human being on this planet would say Joy is old. Like, she's 40.
No, 40
She's
is
40.
not old.
So
Just
yeah,
saying.
Netflix. If anyone from Netflix is watching, maybe cast some older people on your next season. That will be a lot of fun.
I mean, because
Um,
you have to think about this. Like I said, the older you are, you've lived through some things, you've experienced some things that some young people have not experienced yet. And
yeah,
so you know things that you can get references that some people may not understand, or,
absolutely.
So, and with a show like The Mole, it's not as, I mean, it's physical, yes, but you can find some physically fit older people. Not just, I'm just saying, you can
Well,
find that. That is a thing. It is
me,
reality.
me again. But again, you look back to older seasons of The Mole when they were on ABC. Season 2, the oldest player on The Mole was 58. Guess what?
Mm-hmm.
He was the mole. He was literally the mole. He was, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched season 2 of The Mole, my apologies. But
Mm-hmm.
Bill on The Mole was 58 years old. He was the mole. And a lot of people argue he was the most effective mole in the series.
Mm-hmm.
He sabotaged almost every mission and nobody ever suspected him
They
until the
just thought he
very
was
end of the
old
show. Yeah.
because you just think, oh, he's older. He just couldn't do it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It
It
makes
was,
sense.
mm-hmm. And it was absolutely crazy to me. The two finalists both guessed Bill correctly at the end. But when you really think about it, you have this insane season and the oldest player's the mole. season 2 of The Mole is often considered the best season of the show because everything just played out really well and the cast was likable, but also because they weren't afraid to cast some older players. So Netflix,
Right.
we love that.
Dude, yes.
Outside of that, what do you think is the biggest thing that they could improve on if they did another season of The Mole?
I feel like we need to see more of like people's thought processes. Like I need more confessionals where we're seeing the thought process. And like you said, I need to see like if you're going to do clues, let the audience in on the clues. Let us play along because we're not there to pick up those pieces that you're dropping because we don't know to look there. But like they did with the in the bank heist when they put the things in golden, the lettering, so we can see, like she could have been saying Goldilocks or Midas or El Dorado, all that stuff. Like, if you would have just done that, like put the clues out there so we can play along with them. Let this game be the game within the game. Because those numbers meant nothing to us. And to me, like I would have never picked up on her height and her weight on the side of a plane. I don't know her.
Yeah.
And her bourbon from Kentucky. We don't know that all of this information. So I feel like they should just, involve the audience a little bit more with the clues of the game, diversity in age, and also give us a little bit more. Like, I don't think 10 episodes is enough, honestly. Put more episodes in there so we could see all these missions. So when the cast comes out, then they're like, it's stuff y'all haven't seen. A whole other mission happened. What? Because how do you explain money going into a pot when we're not seeing it?
Yeah. And also, it's one of those like portions are affected that may not have affected the outcome. The total prize money may be more or less than the value presented.
I don't like that.
Cool. But my biggest issue with the show, I have two. One, break the episodes up better, okay? Because if you only have 10 episodes and you're going to air it over 3 weeks, okay, 1 week is going to naturally have more or less episodes than another. Totally understand that. And I don't mind them putting 9 and 10 as the last 2 episodes because those felt like a good connecting point there. I will give them that. They should have put episode 5 in with batch number 2 and had that be even, because then you go from 5 episodes to 3 episodes to 2 episodes, and that feels really weird and off. You watch the first half of the season in a day, and then you have to wait 2 more weeks to watch the other half. They could do better than that, and they have done that before. The Circle, for example, they've had they do 4, 4, 4 every week, and it works perfectly. So take from The Circle, please, Netflix. Second, and this is the biggest thing that they really need to fix, the finale. Fix how you present the ending, because especially those last 2 episodes, we already knew. I mean, you were spoiled, but I knew it was Cossie by the time that episode 9 happened. And that is a bit aggravating when, we've had 8 episodes of really quality, solid build-up, suspicion being thrown everywhere, because you forget the mole is supposed to be for us too, that we're supposed to be figuring it out as the show goes along as well.
Exactly.
And it is kind of a letdown when the show makes it that obvious.
Yes.
And also maybe throw in another exemption towards the end, because there wasn't an exemption for like the last 4 quizzes. So that's something that they could fix.
I agree.
Yeah. So, okay, Joy notwithstanding, is there anybody you would love to see on like a Mole All-Stars or whatever if they ever did one in the future?
Pranav and Avery, I think were really good.
I especially Pranav. I don't feel like we got enough Pranav on the season. I thought, because we talked about it, was it week 2 when we talked about Pranav going home, I think. Pranav was just a really fun presence on the season, really interesting player, and he was so much fun to watch. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if Greg came back for a second season. I think Greg is somebody that got better as the season went on. I think the edit stopped burying him as much as they did for the first couple episodes. But yeah, any combination of Pranav, Greg, Avery, Joy, maybe even Cossie as like a player and not the mole, I would like to see that too. And shout outs to Purple Sandy for the final time. We are sorry we have joked about your purple edit this entire season. but maybe if you do end up watching this, it'll make it hurt a little bit less. Knowing that your purple edit has brought us so much joy.
It has. It has honestly brought us joy to know that. And it's really not your fault. It was the editing. They just really. You probably were very much more exciting than what we saw.
Absolutely.
But they didn't give it to you, so that's on them, not on us, and not on you. But thank you for your purple edit. It was well entertaining for us to laugh at. Yeah, all of those. I think, and I do. I think Rick did get better as the show went on. I have to say, because at first I was kind of like very annoyed by him. Didn't think I would like him, but I think, but strategically, he's somebody who I would want to see on, on another show. I would love to see him on the Mole All Star or another show.
Give me joy on the challenge, please. Because
give me joy.
Oh my god!
No, I want joy in Big Brother. I would want
joy
in Big Brother.
Literally put joy on freaking 90 Day Fiance. I'll watch the episodes. Like, I don't even care. Just get me Joy Schweitzer on any fucking show. I'll watch it.
I think Joy in the Big Brother house would be amazing.
It would be chaos, and I would love it.
And I would love every second of it. It would
absolutely.
And then when you put her on there, do a Pandora's box, like
do a Pandora's box, and then she opens it, and Will just pops out to like for an hour.
I would love every second of it. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm here for that. But yeah. Like I said, I enjoyed the season. I didn't know if I was going to, but I did. And so I definitely hope they pick up this for season 2 and on Netflix. And we can actually, I'll follow along with it live, and we can not do a recap, but do a live weekly edit thingy. But it took me I was a little late to the party, but it's okay. I got here,
It's fine.
We're here.
The Mole. On Netflix, we finished. We did it. We did the whole thing.
Look at us.
Look at us, Lana.
Look at us go. I mean, AJ, I appreciate you more than you know, because you were here throughout the entire time. Even when I couldn't, it was great.
Well, like I told you, because Lana posted this thing on Twitter before we filmed. It was like, hey, we're looking to cover the Mole in the Cup. Is anybody interested? I'm like, yes, please. Get me on the show now. That's actually the reason I'm on the Cup now as a semi-permanent panelist. So thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Through the Mole and now onto Drag Race Dragula. If I could convince you all, if I harass you enough about solitary, maybe that 6 months.
You know what? We will get that on there, and you can host it. And I don't know who you're going to get your panel, because it's not going to be me, but somebody is going to join you. Somebody is going to join you on that panel, and you will talk solitary all day.
Great show. Weird show. Great show.
Great show. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, this is it. That was the Mole. Go ahead.
So yeah, that was the Mole.
That's the Mole.
Also, one more thing. Alex as a host, amazing. Great host. Alex Wagner did a great job. I don't know what else she's done hosting wise. Do you know anything else she's ever hosted?
I don't know. I was just very much impressed by her in this one. So 10 out of 10 recommend she gets picked up again for another season.
She's a former anchor of a show on MSNBC. So that's where she's apparently famous from. So yeah, I guess they like having news anchors. I guess they like having news anchors as the Mole. Yeah,
look, I think because news anchors could give you that serious tone and make you go, okay. But then they also let their fun side come out, and you be like, whoa, multi-layer. I like it. But yeah, that was 10 out of 10 recommend Alex gets the job to do it again, because she was great. I enjoyed her. And if they go back to Australia again, that was beautiful. It was beautiful. Just seeing Australia was beautiful.
You know what I would love for them to go next, though? Because I don't think they've ever been there for the Mole, yet. Because they did Chile and Argentina for season 5, and then they did Mexico and Hawaii and stuff like that before they did Europe and stuff. I would love for them to go to Asia because I don't think they've done a season in Asia yet that I can remember at least. And if they have done a season in Asia, I would want it to be like, if they do a season in Asia, give me like Japan, give me like South Korea, all of that.
You mean Thailand?
Thailand too. Like literally any part of Asia that is not China or Russia or North Korea, I'm down.
Yeah,
So,
same.
yeah.
Same. It'll be beautiful. I can't wait. Hopefully, we'll hear about if they get renewed for season 2, and if they are, where it's going to be. And if you feel like you want to become the mole or join the mole, go audition, sign up, be cast for the mole, because it'll be lovely to see some people that I know on the mole. I mean, we've seen people from this community get on other shows, so why not the mole? And let's keep this party going so we can see more people, on
Shout
TV.
outs to Claire Refus, Big Brother 23, Amazing Race 34, 34?
34.
She was Survivor Michigan. So
yes,
like,
which we cover here on the Cup, by the way. Please check out those reviews. And let's shout out to Alex Brizard, who was on The Circle, who was also a part of this community, period. So, yeah, I just say, if you feel like this is something you want to do, jump in there. Put your self out there and see what happens. You never know. You can end up being on the mole or the mole. Who knows?
And all you know is, you won't get on the show unless you audition. So
period.
Go for it. Fill out that application. Don't be afraid to embarrass yourself. Just go for it.
Period. And so, also follow us on Twitter at the cup_reality, so you can get all the notifications on when all of our programs will be dropping on our YouTube channel. Follow us, subscribe, like on our YouTube channel. Please, all the likes, sharing is caring. Share our stuff, and why not
punch that
follow me?
notification bell.
Notification. You'll never miss when a video drops, period. And if you just really like me and AJ and Zoe, who was here for a minute but couldn't stay, had some technical difficulties, follow us on Twitter as well. As long as Twitter's around, we'll be there. But if it falls apart,
that could be another week for all we know.
Right. We don't know. And once it falls apart, we'll find somewhere else to go, but we'll always be here. So, follow us. If you have a show, like AJ is pushing solitaire, if you have a show that you want to talk about and you feel like the Cup is the place for you to talk about it, DM us, hit us up, let us know, and we'll get you on the podcast and where you can talk about your shows. Or if you have a show that we're already covering and you want to talk about it, hit us up, let us know, and we'll be happy to have you on the show. That's exactly. We put out the feelers, you bring it in, and you'll be sitting where AJ is, at home on your computer talking to me.
My phone, because my computer is laggy.
Well, on whatever device, talking to us. But AJ, thank you again for joining us on the mole. I appreciate all of your insight this season. It was great.
No problem. I had a really good time, and it was really nice
great
to
be
able to talk about the show. So,
and
thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it.
Thank you all. And so, on that note, we'll say, yeah, cheers. I have no cup because I didn't drink anything, but cheers.
We can just
thank you.
We can just
bam. Bye.
Bye.
Bye now. Thanks for joining.
Are you the mole?
Bye. I'm